Well, hello there, kids. Welcome to Inside the Drag Closet, the interactive vodcast where we talk about all things drag. And tonight, some things that aren't. Who knows? We're really just here to have a good time. And a good time we have planned for you this evening. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. We're going to dive right into things. I just wanted to address what you've probably already figured out. I'm not in drag tonight. We have decided to just take a break from drag for mental health reasons and just to refresh a little bit and just be ourselves tonight. And we have an incredible guest joining us. His name is James. But rather than me just sitting here chatting, let's get everybody in here. Let me switch the camera view. And ta-da! Oh, wait, there's only 3 of us here so far. We need to bring in Ms. Anastasia. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Amethyst?
I'm amazing. How is everybody today?
Doing great. And our wonderful guest this evening is the incredible Mr. James Ellerby. James, why don't you give us a little who, what, where about you?
Okay. Who? I am James Ellerby. I'm an actor, producer, director, probably another somewhere in there. I've been doing a lot of work in the tri-state area for over a decade now. I've been working with Mitch in multiple different fashions. We were married.
We have been married.
We have professionally, of course.
Oh my goodness.
He was also the best man at my wedding, yeah. So I guess that's the who.
Mm-hmm. What are you wearing?
So there is a boutique. It's literally just called like Fashion like Depot or whatnot at the Harrisburg Mall. And
I've seen that.
It's run by like an African guy.
It is.
And he had a bunch of just fun stuff in there. And I have been seeing him frequently. Don't tell my wife. Actually, what am I kidding? She knows. She's been there with us. But yeah, he has a lot of fun fashion, a lot of bright, fun colors that I've been kind of trying out recently. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that shop in there.
Oh, you have?
It's very colorful.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's just a lot of fun stuff. Plus, he has a lot of stuff in my size, and as a thin man, nice. It's kind of hard to find things. So.
I can imagine.
I'm thin and long, so.
There you go, Anastasia.
I'm not really into thin and long. I like them short and fat.
Oh.
Are we talking about height?
I think so.
Of course.
Okay.
Oh. Whoa, maybe.
Maybe.
Where can they find you, James?
Oh, so I'm in a couple of places. I am I've been doing a lot of work with a video game company called Previously Pluto. And I basically am the head of their production production wing. So almost any of the videos that you see where there's a live action performer, I'm the one that's in charge of the casting, directing, anything that's happening on the actual site of film work for Previously Pluto. I'm basically I run that head, but I'm also a voice actor too. So right now we are currently in works for doing a video game called, oh gosh, now I'm on the spot, called Oddware. And it's a story of identity and self-discovery where an android wakes up and has to discover who they are and what their purpose is in life. And I voice one of the characters, an android who is broken completely away from human conformity called 001. And I do the voice work for them. So I will not be part of their programming of the humans. Yeah, that's me. So if you're an angry Scottish robot, that's me. But normally I'm doing work at Booby's Brewery. I do murder mystery dinner theater. Actually, I got my start because of this jerk over here.
Hi,
Jerk.
I'm a jerk.
Exhibit
A. You are getting a lot of love tonight. Vicky and Robin are both here. My husband is, chiming in and sitting on the couch right over there. Estee Lauderdale is like, who is that? Who that is? That's me. It's me out of drag. Robin and a lot of people reminding you to share this video, because if you don't share, we don't reach a larger audience. So keep sharing, everybody. We do appreciate it. There was a question here from Vicky. Did you enjoy your birthday, Amethyst?
I did enjoy my birthday, and thank you to the plethora of people that reached out and called me and sent me messages and emails. It was such a blessing waking up on Monday on my 42nd birthday, and to feel that kind of love and appreciation. So thank you to everybody that wished me well on my special day. It was a great day. I spent the day just reflecting and being grateful for where I am today in life, and for my friends and my family who got me there. So I love you all. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
She is lying. She is not 42 years old. Lies, lies, lies. Lies Minnelli. She is 31. Stop lying.
What she said.
Right?
that part. Write that down. I did get carded today. That was really nice. I said, God bless you, bitch.
I love that. I haven't been carded in like 10 years, and I'm like, what is going on? I don't like this anymore.
Why? Why aren't you carding me?
I feel very attacked. This is a hate crime.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a hate crime. Well, I hated it. I don't know what that's from. I think it's from The Office.
I think it is.
Also, we got the lovely Miss Katie Bourbon saying, "Hey, Slim Daddy."
I love Katie.
I have my fans. Sorry.
I love this. You
Come
belong
in.
in the show. You're fitting in just fine.
Exactly. Well, the reason I wanted to bring you here, and this is something we've talked about at work.
Oh,
right?
so there's an agenda? I thought we
There's
were
an
just
agenda.
hanging out.
There's always an agenda.
Oh, don't worry. I'm gonna,
The agenda is.
See?
I didn't know.
We're getting it. We're getting it, kids.
well, I wanted to talk about is it possible to be straight and queer?
Yes.
You are a straight man.
Yes.
You have an
I am.
incredible wife.
I do.
I've actually got a couple pictures of the two of you from your wedding.
Oh gosh.
Looking
Aw.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
Look
the
at you
fashion for that event was wonderful, by the way.
What's that?
The fashion for that event was wonderful.
I had a lot of help.
Did
I wanted one of my favorite movies of all time was Coming to America,
Absolutely.
because it is the
Absolutely.
first and only Black fairy tale.
True.
And the second I saw Hakeem wasn't, it was also one of the first times I got to see a Black man who wasn't buff and actively beating somebody with a chair. I watched wrestling at the time too. And Hakeem was like slender, intelligent, loving, caring. He was an idol for me.
Right.
Eddie Murphy in that role. And then the whole story was just, I had never seen Black people in that position before.
Empowering royalty.
But also just in love.
Absolutely.
And like they were complex characters.
Yes.
It was amazing. It was one of my all-time favorite movies. So when I got married, I wanted that.
Mhm.
I wanted a royal wedding. And not one of those things of, the wife always wants her to, no, bitch. This is about me.
So you were the bridezilla.
Oh, I was.
I was, he says.
Oh shit. I didn't even think about that. God damn it. Yeah. I've also been I've been acting for over 10 years now.
Mhm.
Over 10 years now, and have met some amazing people in my life who were like, "Oh, you want to do that? Sure, we'll help you."
Why not?
And have the ability and the talent and the resources to make me feel like a king
That's
walking
awesome.
down the aisle.
That's awesome.
And can I get a little personal?
Go for it.
So my wedding day, there were two things I wanted. Keep in mind, this is pre-Black Panther, isn't it? No.
No, Black Panther was out already. Because your groomsmen, we all called ourselves the Wakandan
Oh yeah,
Royal
you're
Guard.
right. So the funny thing is, like Black Panther wasn't even on my mind, like because the aesthetic for me was
Coming to America.
Coming to America, and one of my good friends Zeke was like, "Yo, man, when you get married, you got to have that drum soundtrack of the opening." Oh no, the King's Motorcade. That's what it's called.
Okay, yeah,
Remember
yeah.
when he rolled when King Joffrey rolls into Queens, and you have that.
Did you have that played? Tell me
You remember that?
Did you
Yeah.
do it?
Huh?
Did you do it?
So that was my entry.
Oh my god.
No, I
That's
did have a thought
funny.
about Black Panther. So in Black
That's
Panther, one of the
funny.
strong things in Black Panther was that the king, while he is helped by, like, you know, the guy with the weird eye.
That James Earl Jones.
No, the
No,
guy with the
no,
weird
no.
eye. You shall be the Black Panther.
I forget his
Oh,
name.
I'm blanking on his name.
Can't
right now.
remember his name. Weird Eye,
figure it
Ghost Samurai. Anyway,
Yeah.
The predominant figures in that movie were the women, and I knew that
Yes.
in my wedding, my mother didn't have that kind of wedding.
Okay.
She's never had that kind of wedding.
All right.
She, you know, Justice of the Peace. My grandmother
Okay.
never had that kind of wedding. Also Justice of the Peace. I wanted to walk the both of them down the aisle.
And they were both there. That's awesome. That's
And
amazing.
my grandmother was there. She recently passed last year, but she got a chance to be at my wedding.
Good.
And she was on my right arm, and my mother was on my left.
I love that.
And the King's Motorcade played
Oh my
as I walked
goodness.
down the aisle with the two most
That's amazing.
wonderful women in my life who brought me into life.
That's awesome.
You know,
I'm uploading that picture right now, by the way.
yeah. So yeah, that was one of my dream come trues, and yeah, it happened.
I want to share that with
That's
everybody.
awesome. That's beautiful.
These two incredible women right here.
Yeah. My mom is a AIDS advocate. For those who don't know, I was born with HIV. I was
Okay.
born HIV positive, and my mother has been working as an AIDS advocate and with people with
Awesome.
drug rehabilitation.
Awesome.
And she has won several awards from the city of York, Pennsylvania, for her advocacy work.
That's awesome.
She's a phenomenal woman.
Does she work in York?
Yes, yep, she works out of York. Yeah,
Excellent. That's beautiful.
yeah, she is a phenomenal woman. Way funnier than I am, and gosh, yeah,
She's a spitfire.
she really is. She really is. And my grandmother was definitely one of those people who she was the star of her community. Like that's
I
where you
love
went. She
stories
was
like
she was
that.
the house that you went to
I love
when you
seeing
don't got
women
nowhere
like
else to
that.
go. Like so,
I
yeah.
love women like that.
And both of them loved you.
I try. I was that whole day. I was just keeping it all together, making sure everybody was okay.
Oh, good, because I wasn't.
I'm aware of it. But it was such a beautiful day. But we were talking about a little bit about, you know, the question that we're all here to ask: can you be straight and queer? And I think that goes along with what is the queer identity. Before the show, we were talking quite a bit about fashion because, as you can see, James is a very well-dressed man and loves to be a well-dressed man. So look at the pants.
Oh, look.
Look at these pants.
I got them back from the tailor. The guy does. He does.
And they're tailored.
The guy does tailor work as well.
I
too.
love that.
Yeah.
That's
But-
smart. That's good.
You know, kind of like RuPaul's Drag Race right now was getting a lot of flack about having Maddie Morphosis on the show being a heterosexual drag queen.
Right.
Does her being heterosexual exclude her from the queer community?
No, it's just the labels that we've slapped on absolutely everything in our lives, and that just causes the separation.
Mm-hmm.
When you put a label on everything, you categorized it. You've just labeled it and put it on a shelf in a section in a certain coordination of things. So doing that takes away its value and essentially what it should be. Like the fact that, you know, James is fashionable has nothing to do with his sexual identity or sexual orientation, and shouldn't. Fashion is fashion is fashion. It's for everybody, you know, regardless of how you identify or what have you. I think it's the labels that really take it out of its context.
Mm-hmm. Anastasia, do you have anything to add?
I'm just curious, like where these labels are coming from. So, like, for James himself, does he identify as straight and queer? And like, if so, what is his definition of straight for him? And how does he feel that compares to the broader definition of queer? And then as well as that, I really want to be careful with with the term straight, because I think that a lot of coming from the like corporate world of HIV care, HIV prevention, et cetera, there's a term that's used that is MSM. MSM stands for men who have sex with men, because there are a lot of men who have sex with men but still identify as straight. So like I'm just curious what definitions are being used this evening, and as well as I want to be careful because I don't want to ever erase the bisexual identity, because I think that a big problem in not just the queer community but society as a whole is the idea that if someone is not straight, then they are automatically just gay, and that completely invalidates the bisexual identity as a whole, and forces people to choose very convoluted, confusing identities for themselves. So yeah, I'm just curious, like what the definitions are at this time, and how that fits into James's life.
That is very interesting, because I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever been in a position where I've had to put a label on it. I would say that I am sexually attracted to women, but that's kind of where it ends. Like that's really where it ends. And it's honestly, my sexuality has been questioned by multiple people, and I've known this because you hear it. People can't talk about you. You know, the second a word leaves somebody's mouth, it goes out into the world. So you're always eventually going to hear when people are talking about you. And I remember there was actually a time. So I used to teach martial arts. And by teach, I was doing martial arts for like a good 8 years of my life. Wow. Like some people go to college, I learned how to whoop ass.
There you go.
Am I allowed to say ass on here?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Absolutely.
You're allowed to say fuck.
Oh, okay. So, and I was always and I've always been the way I think I've finally categorized it. And me and you talked about this is I felt like due to my fashion preferences and kind of my condition, I've always grown up queer adjacent. Like I was in a lot of queer spaces. Yeah. Again, just for having HIV. Like the second I also grew up in foster care too. So I got a chance to meet multiple people of multiple different backgrounds. And I think that I kind of attribute that to why I'm just kind of so accepting of everybody. It's like the only thing I don't accept is jackass. And that's why me and Jade aren't going to be friends anymore.
I was going to say.
There's a new movie coming out.
I seen that.
It's called Nope.
It's called Nope.
No,
that looks so. I will wait until that is at home. I am not going to see Nope in a theater. Nope. That's all I'm saying about that. Anyway.
No.
Yeah. But I guess again, so doing martial arts, there was a lot of question, even from a man that I kind of considered a father figure, my martial arts instructor and one of my best friends at the time. I'd overheard that there was a conversation about, well, is he,
funny?
You know what? Well, James, he's great. I love him. Like everything. But is he? And keep in mind, my martial arts instructor was an older white guy, who, and it was one of those things of it kind of looking back at it now reconfirmed that I was in the queer space or the queer lane just by nature of the things I enjoyed and nature of the. Right. And also something I really couldn't control, which was the HIV too, which is interesting because I met a lot of people from being in a lot of focus groups and in a lot of help groups and mental health counseling, right. Stuff like that, where I was meeting people who were dealing with a lot of the same issues that I was, mm-hmm. And like I would probably say I am. Yeah. So here's a question. Is queer the opposite of straight?
For me, the term queer is an all-encompassing political term that stands for individuals that falls in line with individuals who are not cisgender or heterosexual. And that can be a range of romances. That could be a range of no romances. Queer in general, I think, is a very inclusive and encompassing term. But I think that for me, in my book, I do exclude individuals who are not, in some sort of way, I guess I would say like not. There has to be some kind of like sexual or gender or romantic margin. Like you were part of a marginalized community with regards to your race. Excuse me. With regards to your gender, sexual orientation, romantic attraction, etc.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and like again, I have never claimed to be queer, and honestly, it's just it's not a something that I've been like, oh yeah, that's 100% me. Like I'm not like to use the phrase. Can I use the phrase coming out of the closet or anything like that? Like sure. I'm quite confident in in who I'm sexually attracted to. But yeah, and I think to me that like I would never try to take away from those that aren't, and obviously always defend anybody that feel love we love. Again, I'm a skinny black man who's dating a small white woman, and very small, very small. My wife is like 4 years old. She's gonna kill me if she sees this. She's 4 years older than me, and she's like 4'6". Like, love we love. You know,
it kind of reminds me a little bit about Nicole Byer. Nicole Byer, she is like fabulous, sickening. I think I've talked about her before on this podcast, and I surely talk about her a lot at work. And she says, you know, she for her, she doesn't identify as bisexual or pansexual or queer or anything like that, but you know, she likes to have sex. So she has sex with people who are you know, assigned male at birth, assigned female at birth, assigned intersex at birth, you know, but at the end of the day, she said, like how you're saying, she wouldn't want to take a potential spotlight away from someone who is like living their life within the queer identity and within the queer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's interesting. The question of can you identify as straight and queer that is on the docket for tonight is kind of like, for you, you don't have any kind of label, but you do solely enjoy sexual relations with people who are assigned female at birth.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. I would never put queer on a legal tax document.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I didn't want to, like, I brought James in for the straight point of view on things tonight. Like, this wasn't like, James, tell us about your sex life.
Yeah.
But like
we've had that conversation.
We have had that conversation. What we do at work is nobody's business. We talk about anything.
I'm just very disappointed because when I was introduced, there was no introduction of a wife. And I thought I was being introduced to my future husband. So
she thought we were,
but it's fine. Listen.
Oh.
It's true. It's true.
Oh, I have hit on you when you were dressed as a drag queen, if that helps.
There you go.
I've told Mitch. I was like, I like chocolate.
Oh no.
Chocolate.
Well, you know, if the wife ever, you know, needs a night off, you know,
just tag her in.
Just, you know, give me 2 hours and I can get in a full face.
Full mug.
Give you all your fantasy that you need.
That's just craziness.
So, in this light moment that we're having, James, what is one question you've always wanted to ask a drag queen?
I work with you on Tuesdays.
I know.
I miss one Tuesday, and you're like, "What's something you've always wanted to ask?" No. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen the show Kim's Convenience. Have you guys ever seen Kim's Convenience?
I've heard of it.
Have you ever seen it, Anastasia?
I've seen clips of it, but never really watched it.
If you guys ever get a chance to just kind of mosey through the first season, please do. It's the first. It's where Simu Liu got his start. Shang-Chi, the main actor in Shang-Chi.
Gotcha.
That's where he got his start.
Okay.
It's a convenience store run by a Korean family.
Okay.
And the older Korean man who works there he's older, so he does have a little bit of like ignorance to some things. A drag queen walks into his store, and he asked her in kind of broken English, why do you dress like that?
Okay.
And she thinks for a second, and she goes, I don't know. I've always liked it. It's always felt like home. And he smiles and he goes, I like that. I like that. And he was 100%, like, he wasn't asking out of maliciousness.
Not at all.
It was just
It's curiosity.
Curiosity.
Sure.
And then when she answered, he immediately identified with that statement.
And you understood. You learned something.
So my question for you guys, why do you do it?
I mean, for me, it's an emotional outlet. It is an outlet for my creativity. It is an expression of another dimension of who I am as a whole, as a human. It gives me a platform to reach out and to educate people and to make people happy and make people smile. And that in return does wonders for myself internally also. It makes me feel good, and it gives me a purpose, and it makes me feel that I am here for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I do it.
I like that. Anastasia?
I think that my reasonings for doing it have changed over the years. At first I started doing it because it was something, fun to do. I saw my friend do it once, and I really started to lean into it because I was discovering, more about myself, more about a part of myself that I had for so long hidden. For so many years I had put lipstick on while my family was away from the home, and then as the garage door was opening, try to wipe it off only to still have the lipstick residue on my lips. So, for me, it started out, as a journey for my gender identity, but as well as that, as an extension for the art that I do. For the longest time I used to sing, but I lost my voice. I lost my voice in 9th grade. I lost my voice, I believe in 11th or 12th grade, and then I lost my voice ultimately in my junior year of college, undergraduate. So drag for me wasn't helped me stay on stage after performing since I was 5 or 6 years old. And as time marches on, as it does, I would say that drag has definitely become more of a financial need for me to ensure that I'm able to pay off certain bills, specifically credit cards that I use to buy all my drag stuff. And then as well as that, it has become a link for me for the queer community. I think that with drag, it's opened a lot of doors for me. I don't think that I would be working in the place that I'm working currently if it weren't for drag. I currently work with queer youth of color, ages 14 to 34, with regards to HIV care as well as HIV prevention, through PrEP and other resources. But I think that a huge piece of that is because it's through the LGBT Center, through UPMC, and I have had connections with all of these different people because of drag. So drag for me, it's a lot of stuff. I do it for a lot of different reasons. I definitely have taken a step back more so now, especially because of the finances of it all. Before, back in the day, I would definitely love to just rip and run up to Wilkes-Barre and drop $200 on a hotel room, and but now I'm just trying to be a little bit more financially responsible, because these motherfucking bills ain't paying themselves.
They won't.
Talking about bills, I know that we were having a discussion about potential things happening for Central PA Pride. And I definitely just want to give a huge shout out to our listeners and our supporters to please, if you can, shoot Jade, myself, or Amethyst, particularly Jade, because Jade is the go-to person. She is the lead. A couple of dollars. We're hoping to offset the cost of something pretty major. And so if you'd like to see Inside the Drag Closet at a larger scale, we are hoping our goal is about $500. So please, if you have the time and the dollar, tip, specifically Jade, because that's going to go directly to the funds that we're looking at procuring for this project.
If you send me a tip, just put in the comment Pride, and I will know what you are talking about, and that will go right to what we're working on, which I literally had a meeting about before we got started tonight. So
much fun.
I got some new information, but we'll talk about it after the show. Sorry, everybody.
That'll be on Patreon.
Check out the Patreon, by the way.
Maybe.
Yeah, that conversation's not going to be on the Patreon.
It's not happening, but you can still subscribe.
It's true.
We love you.
We have some amazing followers on Patreon.
Indeed.
I'm going to scroll their names right now. Vicky, Robin, Daniel, Chanel, Estee, Jeremy, Corey, and Josh. They are our Patreons. Make sure you subscribe as well. I actually did a video this week, and I have the products right here.
Yes.
After last week's episode, I took my makeup off with the Patrick Star One Size Go Off Makeup Dissolving Mist. I was shocked. I tells ya.
Shocked, I tell you.
It literally, I sprayed it on my face, and I got a makeup wipe. Half my face was gone in one swipe.
Wow.
In a good way.
In a good way.
And it came right off.
Yeah.
There wasn't a smear, a smudge, visible drag residue left over. It's
Yeah.
Wow.
And I wasn't oily afterward.
It was impressive.
That's a huge thing. Amethyst and I were talking about this earlier. So much drag makeup remover is oily. This, I felt fresh. I felt cleansed. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, and it probably is a lot cheaper than Bianca's makeup remover that you get 10 and a little for $50.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, really?
Crazy.
I think
How much
Derek
was
told
that?
me the spray was about 20, and the wipe. How much were the wipes?
Hang on.
He's looking it up right now.
1 moment, please.
Yay!
I-
Thank
The dissolving mist is 24.
24.
Okay, order me some. Thank you. And knowing.
The wipes come in 2 different sizes, and so do the sprays. The wipes are $7.50
$7.50 for the wipes. 24 for these.
for a 21 pack.
I was going to say, how many are in there?
21.
You're paying
21.
about $30
$3 a wipe. Oh, yeah.
30
Or
cents.
30 cents, yeah.
Yeah, that's not
Fine
bad.
math.
We got a comment from the incredible Fancy Dismount. Am I on the right podcast? Who are these dudes?
Yeah. We're here.
We're here.
We're here,
We're here, ma'am. Miss Fancy just agreed to come back and do a guest spot on the show next month.
Oh,
So that's going to be what? She just said, what is the OnlyFans group action? When do you all start reviewing lubes?
tune in next week.
Well,
That's on our Patreon, too.
That is not on our Patreon.
Check it out.
That's on Anastasia's OnlyFans.
Oh.
I was gonna, honestly, maybe I should do a condom review, how to put on a condom, et cetera, et cetera. Ooh.
It'll be like the grapefruit video, only it'll be with you in a condom. You know what we're talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Daniel Jackson asked, what is the brand of the spray and wipes? Derek posted it. It is One Size by Patrick
One
Starr.
size.
It's so good. So good. Anyway.
Talking about Patrick Starr, that's another person whose gender identity is very interesting because Patrick Starr identifies with male pronouns. He identifies as a cis male, but he expresses himself in very flamboyant clothing, makeup, etc., etc., etc. So just a really great testament to like, you can't judge someone's gender identity based on their gender expression.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Exactly. I was going to actually touch on that earlier, that I find it so strange that due to the labels that society has created, you know, speaking of James in particular, due to his health status, his fashion, the fact that he's educated and well-spoken puts him in the queer category.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Yeah, that's what I'm confused about. You know
what I
that's
mean? It's like, why are those things characteristics of queer?
Yeah.
Especially thinking about with regards to his HIV status.
Right.
Doing this work, I mean, I primarily work with cisgender women, heterosexual cisgender women, whose men, you know, were not getting tested. Whatever they were doing, you know, they live their lives.
Right.
But yeah, I primarily, I mean, there are theories about that. You know, is it because women take better care of themselves? Is it because they're more in tune with their bodies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? But you know,
and why does
I don't
femininity
understand that.
have to tie in with queer?
Well, that's something I've. Go ahead. You look like you're ready to go.
Well, and it's funny you say that because we started to see. I do think the dial is moving back, but we started to see, especially in American culture, and I'm talking specifically American culture, like in the early day, even in the earliest days, what being a man from the fashion and presentable standpoint is completely different.
Absolutely.
Like again, if you have all these people, especially we know who they are, the ones that wave the American flag and have the Constitution written on the back, right? But then they're the first people to put down like folks like you guys and someone dressed like me,
right?
And then if you show them a picture of what the founding fathers look like, because keep in mind, this was like the height of dandyism. And dandyism was specifically men dressing flamboyantly.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And that was seen as normal. That was a normal thing. That's how big's your wig? Where did you get your powder?
Right.
You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, get them shoes. Like,
let me see them shoes, Washington.
Exactly. Well, the funny thing is, what we think of as like the stiletto or the heel came from men's fashion, because they were riding horses, and the heel was meant to catch the stirrup, and it's like all of these things. For someone that looks like at men that are dressed, you know, oh well, that's for women. Is it though? Is it, or did you just, in the words of my grandmother, you forgot where you came from?
Right.
Truly. I mean, even thinking about Scottish culture, you know, with kilts, like men were wearing skirts. You all were wearing skirts.
One of the manliest men in fiction is Conan the Barbarian, and he constantly is wearing a kilt, like, you know, almost nothing. You know what I mean?
That's
loincloth, basically. Where keep in mind, this is the ideal barbarian, ideal man.
I wasn't mad about it.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't mad about it at all.
You know, why is everybody mad?
Yeah. Derek just put a wonderful quote here, and like it hits like a ton of bricks. Jesus wore a dress. You can call it a robe, but it was a dress.
Yeah. Yes, it was. Yeah. Because a dress was not specifically a female garment. It just meant a style of fabric put together. So something that there was actually, I don't know if you guys are gamers or anybody's here is a gamer, but there was a game called The Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and it broke off into a spin-off series called the Dynasty Warriors series. So I remember Dynasty Warriors. There is a character called Zhang He, and he was always my favorite character. He was ripped straight out of a JoJo's Bizarre, JoJo Bizarre Adventure.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, yeah.
And like he almost always was shirtless or had maybe one arm in a silk sleeve with like a full tattoo over his like nipple and chest.
Absolutely.
Silk pants that came down to like his calves, and like big over the top hair that would make y'all jealous.
Oh wow.
And with a golden peacock hairpin.
As one does.
And when you read the description, because like almost anybody that would look at it, almost any straight male looking at this go, oh, that guy's got to be gay. He's got to be gay. He's gay. But when you read the description, it actually says he was the biggest like of women. Like
SLUT slut.
He had numerous female partners. What's that?
I was singing the song by P Cocaine. SLUT slut.
But like he was very like in the animal kingdom, it's usually like, especially for birds,
Peacock.
It's the birds, male birds are always more flamboyant than the female. And it's really, and I always thought that was kind of interesting, especially to segue it back to y'all, is that I have never seen more women question what it means to be a woman until they get around this guy right here.
Right.
And then they're like, oh my God, how do you do your makeup? How do you get your nails done? What hair is that? And like, and actually that's kind of a question for Anastasia and for Amethyst.
Yeah.
Do you find more female fans asking you what you've done? Like, how do you do what you do?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So many women will come up, after a show and be like, oh, you make me look like, nothing, or like, I really need to go home and practice, or what am I doing wrong? And ladies, you're not doing anything wrong. We are an emulation of everything that you are. It is done out of the utmost respect and celebration of all that is female. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's in celebration of you, certainly not negative in any connotation. So yes, women come up to me a lot and they're like, oh my God, I just can't stand you. And I understand. But yeah, I get that a lot. I know, Anastasia, you do as well, because with your hair and your makeup, like. Yeah,
I get pretty what is the word? I can't remember the word I was gonna say. But yes, the females, they be loving it. The men, they be loving it too, but in different ways. They come and whisper in my ear around the corner. I have to like stand around the corner and they like just to act like they're talking to no one. But they're actually talking to me. Yeah. Got a lot of big fans. Oh my God, talking about the word fans. Do you all remember whenever we had the did I scare you?
I don't know what's going on anymore.
You remember whenever we had the conversation with Haley Hemorrhoid about the word fan?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Like fan versus supporter versus bitch. Why did someone just say to me from Atlanta, oh, I like shared my information with them, and I was like, oh, I'm not sure if you like have know about me. And they're like, oh, I know you. I'm a big fan. I was like, what?
That's
wow.
Amazing.
I was like, wow, maybe we do have fans.
Oh, now we have fans. I love it. What's not to love about you, baby girl? You're phenomenal. So, of course, you have fans.
Right.
This one right here.
I'm a fan. So
you're likewise.
You're welcome, I think.
I love your confidence, Anastasia. Like that. Like how you present yourself, even just relax, having a good time with people, with us and stuff. there were a lot of times in my acting career where I felt like I needed to hype myself up and like, you know, the whole words of confidence and whatnot. And like the attitude that you have was always something that like I felt like I had to build up to. Like, were you like the second I see you like just react to what we're saying, you know, you're the shit. Like, and that's like, you know what I mean? And like, that is like, I feel like there's a lot more people out there and both women and men who I feel like need that. They need to have the confidence in themselves to be like,
absolutely,
I'm the shit.
Absolutely.
Like,
let me tell you,
drag does that for us.
Yeah.
Truly.
For us, which I think is great. While the fact that we're all ourselves tonight, it just goes to show that no matter whether we're in wigs and gowns and stuff, we are still the same exact people. Yeah. This is still us. This is actually the force behind the character that you see.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's very important that we showcase, us as ourselves, as well as our, superhero selves, so to speak, because we're one and the same. And that confidence comes no matter we have lip gloss on or not. Mm-hmm. We're still the same people. I know for me, drag has helped me immensely be this person in drag and out of drag. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, good point.
Anastasia, you look like you wanted to say something.
No, I was just gonna say, like if you are someone who is Black, someone who is living with HIV, someone who is fat, someone who is like obviously femme queer, like, bitch, you either need to get with the fucking program or you're gonna get run over. Yeah. This world is not a nice place, unfortunately. There are people who are going to tell you that you're not good enough, that you're shit, that you are ugly, etc., etc., etc. And it's like, you have to take the time to find your own beauty. You have to take the, I know it's so cheesy, and everyone, whether they like RuPaul or hate RuPaul, what she says in the show is very true. If you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love anybody else? Now, I have a phrase that's similar to that, but I switch it up a little bit. I say, if you're not loving yourself 100% of the time, loving yourself in the good times, loving yourself in the bad times, loving yourself in the neutral times, then how can you expect that anyone else is going to show you the love that you deserve? You're going to go out here in this world and you're going to go ahead and take that 60% from your employer or the 50% from your partner because I don't love myself 100%, so how can anyone love myself 100%? No, you need to take the time to figure out who you are.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, look in the mirror at yourself naked. Because at the end of the day, that's your body. Yep. That's your body and that's your face.
Yeah. That's true.
You can always get plastic surgery, but that's expensive. So, unless you get a sugar daddy, this is what you're left with. Learn to love that.
So I've often heard, and it's something that I've always, a kind of a deviation of what you were saying and what RuPaul said, but it's, when you learn to love yourself, you'll start being able to recognize what real love actually is.
Absolutely.
Ooh, I like that.
And absolutely. Like, I think there's so many people that don't recognize real love,
right?
Because they've never had it,
right,
from other people,
right,
and they've never given it to themselves.
And you can't get real love from other people unless you've already given it to yourself.
Yeah,
you have to be on that level in order to acknowledge it, recognize it, and accept it for yourself.
Yeah, very true.
And ultimately, that starts with your parents. But our parents have been through so much trauma themselves. They haven't gone to therapy. They haven't taken the time to like figure out who they are. I think that anyone who has had the phrase "stop crying" or "I'm going to give you something to cry about," that was abuse. Baby girl, that was not love. That was abuse.
Right.
And it's like, we can say as much as we want to, like, oh, well, it was a form of abuse. It was a form of love because they were trying to tough me up for the outside world. No. You deserve to receive unconditional love from the people two people who brought you into this world, and anyone else who's in that family. Unconditional love from them, because no one asks to be here. That's my thought. I'm like, I didn't ask to be here. I didn't ask for this $10,000 of credit card debt, god damn it, but I got it.
And love doesn't toughen, it strengthens.
Truly.
Right.
Truly.
Right.
That is such a good quote. I love that.
I know. I should write that on a T-shirt.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Mhm.
Make your own merch.
Put it in your book.
Merch. Go buy the merch.
Yeah, we've got merch.
Yeah.
I have it. I bought some. I have a hoodie now, and I have a coffee mug, and I have stickers. I have the beach towel. Love the beach towel. So soft. Can't wait for the beach.
Right.
Anytime now. Even though this weather's been great lately, at least in our area here in South Central PA.
We've had a nice.
Like
some
it's
nice
been like
days.
60, 70 degrees, and I'm the loving it. So yeah, keep up with that, Mother Nature. That's cool.
So we have a couple questions from the audience, and Anastasia, I feel like this one is right up your alley. From Derek, can you fall into the LGBTQIA plus community as a heterosexual person who also identifies as asexual?
What do you think the A stands for?
See, and I've heard multiple takes on that, being asexual or ally.
Yes.
I know there's a big debate about that.
There is a much longer acronym than that. I mean, the real acronym includes like 2S for two-spirit individuals. There's a P in there for pansexual individuals. I mean, the list it's not exhaustive. But yes, LGBTQIA, specifically looking at that breakdown, I mean, the LGBTQIAA, if you want to add allies in there, but LGBTQIA, yes. If you're asexual, you're part of the queer community. You're a part of a marginalized community. I mean, it tells the average person when we're talking about these truckers who like to live physical laborious lives, you know, they're not gonna be like, yo, yeah, you're asexual, that's fine, that's cool. Like, they're gonna be like, what the fuck do you mean? Come over here and get this dick. Like, yep. So yes, you are part of the community. Same thing for aromantic individuals, people who are demisexual. Yeah.
It's fun. It's funny you say that because, like, I've been chatting with some of like I have a bunch of different like Black nerd groups and stuff, and the topic of what is Black has popped up too, and Black means a lot of things.
Allegedly.
But for me, like if I had to codify it, my thought would be my thought would be, if you can go to a Klan rally and with your hood off and nobody's gonna say nothing, you're probably not Black.
That part. That's the thing, because so many people try to make being Black or being Asian or being Latino, being Hispanic, Mexican, a monolithic experience. James and I are Black.
Yep.
And Amethyst too. But
I was going to say something, but no, I wasn't.
But our experiences, I mean, Jade, you know, she might have had a little Black in her in her younger days, but
You are holding it back so badly right now.
But we didn't have the same experiences.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let it out. I want to hear.
Oh no, it's perfectly fine. We can move on.
That's for the after show.
That's for the after show.
Oh,
After show, no
Lord.
problem, absolutely.
I don't know what's going on. Cassie had a very good comment here that I liked. I was trying to upload pictures and I wanted to comment. Cassie Hunter, be your own hype person.
Yeah.
I love that. That's
Right.
It's a hard thing to learn though. Like it takes, it takes years of not knowing who you are before you're like, I get who I am.
Right.
Yeah.
Earlier we were talking about why we do drag, and I didn't give my answer. I was distracted by
Please do.
this.
Yeah. Because I've never asked you that before.
You've never asked me that question.
No. I've always just kind of, I accept this about my friend. That there's no questions, no questions asked. But yeah, I think we've been friends long enough.
So, and for those who don't know, years ago when I competed for the Hope pageant and became Queen of Hope, James and our lovely friend Jasmine were my backup dancers. and they were
because she throws black people in the back.
Well,
listen,
Ooh,
listen. This is how stuff
cut
gets
the
started.
cameras.
This is how I get canceled.
Oh no.
No, it was my talent number was a beautiful love story. I was playing an older woman, and I just wanted these two kids to admit that they were in love. It was No Time at All from Pippin, which is such a cute number, and we got to teach James how to dance. It was an experience. And it's funny because Jasmine found out that morning that she was pregnant with her second child.
Oh,
Yep.
goodness.
Which was amazing. But it's funny because it was never in my thought process that you were both black. It was just you were the two people I trusted most. And then someone was like, "Did you pick two black people for a reason?" I was like, "No." Huh. I didn't thought of that.
She said, "Yes, I decided to get these two pickaninnies and get them to marry one another."
I can't deal.
Yes.
Not that many.
Oh,
Happy Black
we
History Month.
shucked and jived and helped that white woman
I
out.
gotta go.
Happy Black History Month.
And then we jumped over the broom.
We've ever used on this show.
That's not nice. Ninny.
Child.
Hey, y'all made them. We just think they're funny as hell. Like,
What is
I love it.
There is a meme going around right now. It's on TikTok. It's everywhere, and it cracks me up. And it's someone asking, "What is one thing white people cook better than black people?" And someone pipes in and goes, "Meth."
Wow.
My favorite. I enjoy the one that's like, it's this white. It's like a white girl or white boy, white person sitting there, and they're in class, and the teacher's like, "What started slavery?" And the white person raises their hand. They're like, "Correct."
yes. Yes.
I was like, "Oh."
Yes. I will drink to that.
Oh my god.
I love that.
Now back to CRT.
Yes, back to critical race theory and the gay agenda.
The gay
Oh,
agenda.
the gay agenda.
Ooh.
Yes.
You know what?
The gay
I'm
agenda.
sorry.
Wake up and go shopping.
Yeah.
Get groceries.
Is there
I had
Never.
online. I had someone, the mayor of Chambersburg, actually post about Leah Thomas, the NCAA swimmer, who's like kicking ass, who just so happens to also be a trans woman, and like it was just really funny because it wasn't funny. It was really upsetting. But in the comment section, people were like, "I'm just so upset about this LGBT agenda to steal this from the real women out here." I was like, "What?" And it was crazy because it kind of like also coincided with something that occurred in my personal life, where someone saw a picture of me doing drag that my mom shared on her page, and they reported her to her supervisor at church, and were like, "We don't know if she's gonna start trying to like preach the gay agenda to our children in children's church."
The gay agenda.
It's a good word. You'll be just fine.
She's been working there at the church for like 7 years, so
Amazing.
if the kids are
That's how
gonna be
you know you're
indoctrinated.
winning.
Well,
Oh, and like I was commenting on that post because I woke up and chose violence that day.
Mhm.
yeah, I've
And
done that a few times this week.
I'm usually not that person, but I was just like, you people are getting real ignorant,
What do you
and
mean,
this
you
is not.
people?
Shut up.
I
That's
mean, people
not-
like you.
Not you people.
No. I'm not gonna survive this
I
episode.
had to.
Uh,
so.
Like people kept on arguing like the stupid argument where people are like, "Oh, trans women aren't real women." Stop. Hard stop. No. And I had a very good conversation with one of my coworkers who doesn't understand, and he knows he doesn't understand. He's very conservative, but he wants to understand. I'm like, okay,
Okay.
this is a good moment.
That's
He's
good.
and he always is like, I don't want to offend you. I'm like, you're not offending me by asking the question. If it crosses the line,
Right.
I'll let you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that can lead to more questions of why that's offensive or
Sure,
how.
Absolutely. Exactly.
Yeah.
You want to know? Let's do it.
But he was like, well, what about like, what do you think about trans women in sports? I'm like, I think it's been going on for centuries and people are now just getting upset about it because it's a hot button issue. But I looked into it and I think Anastasia posted about it. There are guidelines for testosterone levels and estrogen levels. And like,
yep.
Leo was well within those guidelines.
Yep.
Someone did ask, like, what about her teammates who don't want her on the team? And I looked at the article. I was like, okay, you know what? They're not fully comfortable with her in the locker room. I don't have an answer for that.
Which says a lot about like. Well, it just I do have an answer for that. I think that says a lot about the way that those individuals were being raised. I mean, she's 22. Everyone in the locker room is going to be most likely 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, somewhere around that range. We're all adults. I think that if this individual who just so happens to have a penis, we're walking around with an erect penis, that would be one thing. If there were boners walking around, we could have a conversation about that. But someone on my page shared something like, "Oh, I'm so tired of you LGBTs and your voyeurism, like forcing it onto us, your voyeurism onto us." And I was like, first of all, that's incorrect because voyeurism is like peeping Tom, bitch, and that is a diagnosable disorder. Maybe you're looking for the word exhibitionism, which with exhibitionism specifically, as a disorder, you need to be exposing your genitals for at least more than 6 months at a time, which is not a thing, for the LGBT agenda, quote unquote. So, like, I think that these individuals need maybe some sensitivity training. I think that it's crazy to like, if you're going to force for me, for all of this, from the jump, like, y'all want to do hormone testing. Y'all need to do hormone testing on everybody because there are some cisgender women out here who got some testosterone.
Yes. Yes. I was actually, so there have been cis women who have failed the testosterone, the test in their own categories and have been doing numerous stuff, getting up to the Olympics, because usually at the lower levels, they don't test for that because they don't have the money to test for that. When they get to the Olympics and they do test for those levels, they test out, and they are cis women. And like, as far as for like something that I've also been trying to change my language about when I talk about transgender women and turning it into women who are trans. I would love if we start putting the woman first. They're women who are trans. What was the thing I said the other day? Women is what they are. Women is who they are. Trans is how they got that way. Women first, trans second. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Women who are cis, the so yeah.
So, in addition to that, if we're going to do it for the hormone levels, we also need to set boundaries for the locker room. Then, if you don't want this woman to be walking around without a towel on, or not walking around like having to like take your towel off, like, and not do it in the stall, which I know that in my college days I hated doing that. Having to like change in the small stall as a thick bitch that I am. But if you're going to force this one person to do this, then you need to force everyone to do it. Everyone needs to make sure they have underwear on before they leave the stall then.
Yep.
If there's such a problem, then that's the way we'll fix it. Yep. You cannot single out this one person. And that's the thing. People are like, let's single out. And I know this is not what this episode is about. I apologize. Jade, you mentioned the goddamn legal things and the law and the goddamn it, Jade.
There
but,
she goes.
I was ready to get into it. And I know we're all ready for it. So,
but people are like, well, the transgenders need to have a separate sport themselves. Like, they just need to have a separate category. And I'm like, do you understand that they're like, segregation is not equality?
Right.
Yeah, I tell them We tried that already.
We tried that. That didn't work out.
We did that.
That didn't work out.
Are we gonna have a transgender only drinking fountains?
Yeah.
They can make a comeback.
I don't even separate my whites when I do my laundry anymore.
Listen.
I don't want that color getting on my pure white.
James is like, I do.
Hell, I use a white condom when I have.
Did you like that, Derek? What did you say?
So, yeah. Just so people are so ignorant.
Me and my wife walking down the street, I said, "Don't hold my hand. I'm gonna get arrested."
That's right. I'm gonna take you away from me.
Shit, I ain't trying to get lynched.
Happy Black History Month, everybody.
These are things that we think about, though. Seriously, like as like a Black person, I know that for me, I'm like, anytime that I see an interracial couple, I'm like, I really hope that they're okay. I hope they're okay.
Yeah.
Anytime that I see like a Black person like by themselves without any friends or like family or whatever, I'm like, I hope they get home okay. Like I just had like just recently I had some folks who came into my work and they were like, yeah, like we were walking down the street and the police like surrounded us and took my partner away. And I was like, number one, are you okay? Number two, like I'm so grateful that you are here alive. Like these are things that we think about constantly.
You know what? I have that exact same thought every time I see Mitch leave while he's well dressed as Jade. When I see Jade leave an event, because you're by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And like you're like, oh, I got another show to go to. And yeah, you're only walking to the car, but how many stories, like as many stories as there are about Black people being attacked, there's equally as many stories about
trans women,
gay men, you know, drag queens who might not even fit any of those other things.
Right.
You're like, I'm just doing a show. Like, yeah, no, I've had that exact same worry.
Well,
but
and I do what my mother taught me when I was young. I am that person. I carry my keys between my knuckles. Because I'm looking after myself, and really, I'm tired. Nobody wants to mess with me when I'm tired.
You can also puke profusely. I don't think they attack you if you start puking.
Pee myself.
Yeah,
or on them.
On them. Well,
no, some of them might like it.
You're right.
Yeah, if they're trying to attack a drag queen, they probably like.
They're like, oh, thank God, that's exactly what I was going for.
Speaking of drag queens, Miss Scarlet Overkill has popped in.
Hey,
I'm just here for the queens. Wait, awkward. So awkward. We're having a mental health night. Oh my God. Literally, I had to step away because I was crying. I was laughing so much.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
So I can't deal with
I love when we're taking it easy on Jade.
Well,
and like
literally, that kid. I was thinking, honestly, I was like, Jade got lucky this whole month. Like,
this has been a great month, honestly.
She got lucky.
You say that now that it's almost over.
Exactly.
She was like, last one, please.
I want to see a sketch where it's white people talking about Black History Month and how well they did.
There has to be. I'm surprised Mad TV or SNL didn't do that already.
Oh my God, that's got to be amazing.
Truly, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of white people on like a panel.
Yeah,
like just a panel.
Yeah.
Honestly, we like Wakanda Forever. Everyone, we did so well this month. Like.
When Black Panther came out, Saturday Night Live did this great sketch where Pete Davidson. Well, Chadwick Boseman was in it, and they had just gotten out of seeing Black Panther, and all these white guys are walking by, and they're just like Wakanda Forever, and everyone's like, "Oh."
Actually, it's funny how you said that. Like you said it perfectly too.
Yep.
Every time a white person says
Wakanda Forever,
and we're like. You know, Wakanda Forever is slowly floating under the N-word. It's slowly floating under. It's not there yet. Just slowly.
Well, honestly, James, whenever you were talking about, you know, your different titles, you know, you said that you're like a producer, a director, and like something that might also end in "er," and I was like, don't say it. Don't say it.
Oh God, I hadn't even thought of that. You're a terrible person.
I am. You'd be able to go on your show and be a good person.
Happy Black History Month, everyone.
That's right. Represent.
I'm not allowed to do that.
Try it.
Am
it's
I?
fine.
Can I do
Try
that?
it, it's fine.
No.
You'll like it.
If you have
Not
to
taking
ask,
sipping her water.
no.
If you ever need to
My
fit
black
in.
friend said it was okay.
That's right.
Awful. Just awful.
You can't just go asking people why they're
Not talking about that. Do you all watch Family Guy?
Mean Girls.
I love Family Guy.
Mean Girls.
Do you remember that episode whenever Peter he was like, I'm gonna dress up like Bill Cosby for this Halloween, and like Lois like slapped him with a newspaper, and she's like, "You're a stupid man! You're a stupid man!" She, like beat him up.
It was Chris. It was the son. There was another episode, and it was like the world was ending, and like Peter was out doing shenanigans, and Lois is like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm going to a black neighborhood to say the you know what word." And he comes back with like a sash and a crown. They respected me for it. I was like, no.
No, you would not return.
Well,
It's one of those shows. I forget what it was. I think it was American Dad, where the Black history teacher was a white guy who just went way too far. And I'm like, this is the Black history teacher. Okay. Or it was the principal. It was something like
I
that.
don't know.
I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. Although they've been taking steps to fix some of the problematic things with that show.
Oh, really?
The guy who
We're black. We don't watch it.
that's true. The Cleveland show. Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah.
What happened to the Cleveland show? I'm so angry.
It got canceled.
White people.
I know.
White people.
Raise your hand again.
Nope.
This is fun.
Nope. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. But the voice actor for Cleveland decided he's no longer playing the character because he's like,
It's a white guy.
yep.
Yeah.
And they got a new voice actor. And I don't know what episode they changed because this guy, does the same voice.
But do you know what's weird? I don't care about that. Like, actually, I didn't think he had I didn't have a problem with a white guy doing a black guy's voice. Like, so here's something funny. There is a huge conjecture about things like blackface, right? And like, you have characters like Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder, right?
Okay.
There wasn't a protest. We
Oh,
black people weren't rioting in the streets trying to cancel Robert Downey Jr. Actually, that man canceled himself a couple of times.
Well,
Not for that, for
not
other
for
stuff.
that, no.
He laid off the drugs and now he's an Iron Man. He's good.
Right.
And do you know why? And he was doing blackface. You cannot escape it. He was doing blackface. Why wasn't that offensive?
he was making fun of blackface.
Kind of, but he also was being a black guy, and the joke was on him, not us. It was on him. He knew it. Actually, they even make reference to it in the actual movie because there's an actual black guy in it, and he's like, "You're not even black." And he's like, "I'm just a dude disguised as a dude playing another dude."
Yeah.
And whatnot. And black people, we thought it was hilarious.
Right.
We thought it was funny. There's a big difference. I think there are times where even, okay, I hate to say this, but like white liberalism can get us in trouble sometimes. Where there's times where I feel like, and like, I love my white allies. I will always root for you. Any questions, comments, concerns you have, write P.O. Box Black. I got you. But there are times where white liberals who don't ask questions of their black peers, they go too far in thinking they know what angers black people when they don't. And then they'll try to get things fixed that we never had a problem with.
Yeah.
And sometimes that will drown out what we actually have a problem with.
Yeah, I would say Mrs. Butterworth or Aunt Jemima, do. Thanks and all, but we're still getting killed in the streets. Like,
Yep.
Sorry about it.
One of my friends was like, "Did you hear they're trying to cancel Paw Patrol?" I'm like, nobody's trying to cancel Paw Patrol. He sent me an article. It was like, No black person that I have ever met in my entire life has had a problem
No.
with paw control. Every black person that I have met in my entire life has had suspicions about the police officer down the street.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Two separate things.
Yeah.
And we, black people, can discern the difference between a children's show and actual real dangers and threats to our lives.
Yeah. Now, I will say, I do think that one thing that has come out of this liberalism of which you speak has been like ensuring that there's representation and proper representation throughout media. Because, like, one thing that I have once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's something that I try and point out to like people who I'm having conversations with who just are not, just trying to be ignorant. I want to say, look at your television and count how many white people there are on each channel versus black people. Count how many heterosexual people there are versus gay people, or homosexual people, or lesbians, etc., etc. Count how many cis people there are versus trans people. Like, I would love for you to do like an analysis for yourself. And like when you do this analysis, you're going to find there are primarily more white people on the television that you're looking at, unless of course you go to BET or Logo. You're going to find that there are primarily heterosexual relationships happening, or what would look like a heterosexual relationship. So like,
and racially, what is it called?
Ambiguous.
White with white,
Oh,
black with black.
Yeah.
Hetero relationships that are not racially, because like it's rare for me and my wife to see a couple that looks like us.
Yes. And like commercials, there's Cheerios, they're doing it, that's cute and whatever. Thank y'all for that. But like when we're talking about big time television, at the end of the day, these people care about money. It's capitalism. And they know black on white do not sell, queer don't sell, and unless it's drag queens. And with that, it needs to be very specific drag queens. It needs to be family-friendly drag queens, which is the reason why RuPaul's Drag Race is such a phenomenon, because they only, at season 14, are just talking about Folsom Street Fair, which we know what goes on there. Which, if we don't know, it is a street fair where it's all about sexual liberation. Folks are, booty cheeks out, dick hanging, slanging, dripping.
Like an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Truly. So, like, this is the first thing they talked about it, but like, I immediately talked about like for this much of the episode, and then immediately after, like, try to cover it up with like, but pride is like for everyone, and like pride's so good for families, and it's so encouraging for like queer youth, and it's like, it has to be family friendly. It has to be mainstream because it has to make money.
Right. Mm-hmm. You were mentioning that about the radio the other week as well, how whitewashed it is.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Truth is, I'm tired.
Well, I actually just learned about a year ago that radio is actually where rap came from originally.
Oh, really?
Rap started from the disc jockeys, because
wow.
there was time slots and segments for them to do like promotionals and talk about things in their community, and a lot of them were like black preachers or black salesmen. So what they would just do is they would rap. They would rhyme the words that were going on their thing. Like come on down to Jenkins shop, because we got the stuff that make you pop. That's where that came from, and we're talking like the 1930s and 40s, during the time of the black exodus from the South into the areas of like Chicago, and then they started. Now you have black people who have economic power and have an area that they occupy, and they have shops. So they want to sell their stuff. And they started buying these little snippets of radio time until they were able to afford their own stations. And then, so something I do disagree with you is that I agree that these big time players think that all the queer stuff and the race mixing stuff doesn't sell, but it does. That's a lie. that they've perpetuated. They've told us over and over again it doesn't sell, but we keep seeing the opposite. I am a firm believer, and this is sexual diversity and of course ethnic and skin diversity. Diversity is the currency of the future. It is. And if we just want to talk capital, you can go to a big producer and tell them, hey, here's something different, even if you coat the same number of paint on it. That's like, honestly, that's another reason why I think we saw Finn, FN 2187 from Star Wars, the first black stormtrooper, right? Where somebody could easily go back and go, hey, everybody loved Lando.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lando was, and the executive heads are like, well, we don't see color. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, you don't see color. Everybody loved Mace Windu. Oh, yeah. Oh, we don't see color. Okay. Okay. We want to put a black stormtrooper. Oh. Okay. Yeah, you're good. But that's how you keep getting in there. And once you start,
it's people who are like in the business like you, who like in these and when you're doing the casting, like we need to make sure that we have at least one black person. Like, hello, like, what are we doing here? You know, looking for ensuring that we have like a black person in the writing room, a black person on the cast, a black person who's producing, a black person who's like. And the thing is, people will say like, well, black people, well, these individuals, this person who you're trying to bring in here, is they're just a little too green. They don't have enough experience. Well, they can't have experience because they've
never been allowed into the room. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So definitely, I 100% agree with you with regards to like the ideas of what is acceptable versus what is truly acceptable. I mean, especially looking even at politics. For years now, Americans have loudly stated we would like health insurance for everyone, free, affordable health care. Boom. That should be on the ticket. That should have been on the ticket years ago. But still, some folks who are, you know, making money through big pharma and insurance companies do not want that to happen. And I'm not naming names specifically because honestly, it's both sides, both conservatives and, you know, moderate, you know, not progressives. I won't say progressives, but the progressive agenda, $15 minimum wage, you know, healthcare for all, like all of these things are things that Americans want. But the greater society, media, is telling you don't want that.
You don't. Exactly. Yes. Now I would love to get into that conversation with you, but we're here for black stuff.
We're here for straight queer stuff. That too. We're here for black stuff. I came for black stuff. I love that.
Well, here's a complicated question from Cassie. If someone dresses as, say, Aaliyah or Left Eye for Halloween and doesn't change their skin color, they're criticized. Is it wrong, or is that wrong, or is it cultural appropriation? This is a tricky one.
I mean, they may be criticized by someone who is more radical, but if you're not changing your skin tone, and as long as you're being respectful and not making a parody of that person. If your favorite singer is Aaliyah, your favorite singer is Aaliyah. If your favorite singer is Left Eye and you want to put the whatever underneath your eye, do you, boo? Like, make it look good, make it look cute, but do it with reverence.
I think about that a lot when I think about Disney. Last time we went to Disney World, so many little kids dressed as their favorite princesses. But now it's once again the white liberals who are just like, oh no, your little girl can't be Moana. No. Your little kid, she's Asian, she has to be Mulan. Sorry about
what?
It's so gatekeepy.
But it's even worse than
gatekeepy.
It's even worse than gatekeepy. It's here's your box.
Yeah,
we made a box for you.
Yep. Don't come out of it.
Mm-hmm. Don't come out of that.
That's yours, though.
I think there's a time and a place for the parent to go, that's your favorite? Fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about that history.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So but that goes hand in hand with the parents having to be like the teacher. They'd rather pay someone else to do it, but on their terms.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
That
on
gets
their
into school
terms.
systems, and we don't have time for all
Yep.
of that tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
but there's a difference between wearing a costume for Halloween that is a Leah or Left Eye. You're picking a very specific person. There's a difference between that and dressing in quote unquote indigenous garb by wearing a huge feather hat, a headpiece, and scantily clad clothing, and saying, "I'm going as an Indian for Halloween." There's a difference between those two things.
Where does Pocahontas fall into that, though? She's a specific character, but she's a representation of a people.
True.
She has a very specific dress.
Mm-hmm.
She has a very specific costume. If you're gonna go as the costume, go as the costume.
I agree.
And truly, Pocahontas, she's real too. She's real. She was
That's a
live
real
back in the
person.
day.
Yeah.
But this is the character that Disney has made. So if you're going as I am Disney Pocahontas, cool girl, work, cute. Don't dye your skin, please God, for God, don't dye your skin, bitch.
What if
But,
a group of people go as the Village People?
That's a bunch of homos.
Yeah, those F words. Those F words are a part of the gay agenda, and that's devil work.
Wow.
They're very dark-sided.
There we go. We're working them all in tonight.
We got that.
No, but and as well as I just wanted to really quickly, with regards to that last question, there's also a difference between going dressed as Halloween as a Leah or Left Eye versus going and getting dreadlocks or locks of sister locks or locks of some kind, or getting your hair cornrowed, et cetera, et cetera. There are Black individuals who are still being fired or being dismissed from work, being told that they need to go home, change their hair, et cetera, et cetera. There are Black individuals who still are not being able to get into executive positions because they can't wear their hair in that certain style. So there are certain reasons for why those things are not appropriate. And you can definitely Google even more reasons for why that's not appropriate. But yeah, if it's a costume, it's a costume. You're doing a very specific look.
And I also think that if anybody tries to call you out on it, don't get mad. Explain to them. Talk to them why this character is important to you, and that's why you're dressing like that. Because you'd be surprised how much people are thinking that something is malicious when ignorance is actually an easier explanation.
Exactly.
They just don't know.
Yeah.
Well, and like I've hinted at it a number of times on the show, but I haven't like blatantly said it. I have wanted to cosplay as Mantis for so long from Guardians of the Galaxy. And I almost did it one night on the show. And then once my makeup was done, I was just like, this doesn't look right. And I was painting for the movie, but I was like, I look like I'm trying to look Asian, and that's not what I'm going for. That poor outfit's just sitting upstairs.
I think you should do it.
I think you should do it too.
Yeah, you're doing
something.
something.
She would do it so well.
Thank you.
She's also more alien than she is Asian.
Yeah.
And that's
Like,
that's the struggle. And
Like-
Pon Clementif, amazing actress. She is so beautiful.
Right.
Yeah.
But every time I do my makeup, I'm just like, ugh. So maybe I just need to go ahead.
Jay, I would just say there are individuals who do cosplay who will try and claim that Black people can't do Naruto or can't do JoJo or can't do Jocelyn. Like there are people who will say that you can't do this because they're not Black. Well, bitch, they're not white either. So you can't do like if you're gonna go by those rules, you can't do it either. So like, at the end of the day, these are Asian characters. You are cosplaying as a very specific person, and when they were talking about aliens, they're fucking fake.
Yep.
So kids, I'm gonna do it in March. I'm gonna be Mantis in March. I haven't picked a night yet,
Go for it.
I'm gonna do it.
Go for it.
Game on.
The night of cultural appropriation.
Stop it!
Stop it!
Oh my
I'm
God.
gonna
I'll do
immediately,
it too.
immediately trash.
Amethyst,
You're gonna
she
go
is
as an Asian woman?
I will watch me.
No.
she is not culturally appropriation. She is not culturally appropriating because she is indeed Asian, according to some queens in Central PA.
Oh my God, that again.
Oh,
Okay.
that's right.
I
That's
can't.
true.
I can't.
That's true.
Someone already thought I was. Anyway, so we have some other things we want to talk about
Oh, hell.
that are not. Well, one, Divas Down Under is right around the corner, kids. And if you have not gotten your tickets yet, you need to get them soon because we only have about 60 seats left. And we have been consistently sold out pretty much since we reopened.
Go.
And we are having a Rehoboth Beach takeover. We are going to have Miss Peaches, Poison, Diamond Doll, Tamia Giselle Michaels, Amethyst Diamond, Jade DeVere, and Anastasia Diamond. It's going to be an incredible show, so make sure you get your tickets ASAP. I will let you know VIP is already sold out, but like I said, 60 tickets left. Get yours before they're gone, because every month someone shows up and they're like, oh, we didn't know. We told you, now you know.
A lot.
And we have not gotten to Derek's helpful drag tip of the week yet.
Ooh.
And it's a good one, kids. And this is advice for all of the newer drag performers out there. Derek's helpful drag tip is, no one likes the person who constantly bums cigarettes. It is the same thing when you constantly forget things like hairspray and makeup wipes. Amethyst, you've got some thoughts on this, don't you?
I have nothing to say about. I have so much to say about this. First and foremost, the fact that it was a smoking reference was wonderful, because tomorrow's 2 weeks without a cigarette for me. I quit smoking, so yay for that. Doing good. I'm on the right track. It will be successful. But seriously, one of, I guess, my biggest pet peeves, and now mind you, I am one of the friendliest people in the world, allegedly. I'll give you anything I have, but I think it's so important for people to learn to be self-sufficient. A self-sufficient queen is a successful queen. Don't rely on a venue or a fellow queen to provide you with essential drag items, hairspray, a mirror, a bobby pin. Like, these are like, how are you doing drag if you don't have these things? It blows my mind. But be self-sufficient. It will take you so much further if you have all the little tiny things, the things that you think you don't need, you do. So pack it, pins, buttons, washcloths, soap and water, alcohol spray, everything, pack it all. That's why my luggage is so heavy, because I bring everything, like, literally. But yeah, be self-sufficient. That's yeah, good job, Derek. I like that.
Or just get ready at home. Get ready at home. Then you only have to bring the very bare minimum, your outfits, your wigs, and maybe some bobby pins, and a little touch up for your lipstick.
Something.
Like, I'm telling you, like, if you are alone, it is so much to have to, like, take all your stuff in the venue and then out of venue, especially depending on where the venue is. Like, at Divas, we're really lucky because we can enter in the back, sneak in the back, and go directly to our room. There are some venues where you have to walk through the audience, and, like, you're walking through the audience 3, 4, 5 times because you're bringing all your stuff in and out. Like, so be prepared for the venue. If you can get ready at home, bitch, just get fucking ready at the home or the hotel.
Yep. Derek wanted to add something to this. Invest in black towels for removing your makeup. There is nothing that makes a venue more upset, especially if you're in a hotel, than you using their towels to wipe your face off.
White towels that will never be the same.
Never.
Ever.
Never.
Do you have anything to add to that, being someone who is around performers all the time?
Yeah, you do see it. Yeah. Yeah, bumming rides is one thing, but after a while, try to find a way to the thing you want to do. If you're passionate about something, you'll find a way to get it done. If you want it bad enough, you can do it. And when other people see that you are making as much effort as you can, they're going to be more willing to help you.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Now,
absolutely.
Personally, I feel like asking for, like, as someone who has done this before, so I don't know if this tip was for me or not, but as someone who has, like, as a traveling person, especially someone who's, like, working, there are times where I pack my entire bag and I come to find out that I forgot my mirror, and I'm like, oh fuck, like try your best to, like, find a space to get ready in, whether it's a bathroom or whatever. But, like, for me, I feel like asking for, like, a bobby pin or hairspray is much less of an offense versus asking for a whole fucking cigarette. I cannot, when I see people walking around the venue asking for a fucking cigarette, I'm like, bitch, do you know how I don't even smoke. And I'm like, do you know how much these motherfuckers cost? Like, I'm like, how dare you ask me for this thing costs $5 a piece? Like, I'm like going crazy. I'm like, are you gonna tip me, bitch? Like, I cannot.
Yeah. Derek wanted to add in like the bumming. It's only a problem when it's habitual. That's true.
No, I got a problem with it all the time. Don't ask for no fucking cigarettes. Go buy your own cigarettes, bitch. I'm so angry. Ooh.
I love that. Well, kids, we have reached the end of our evening, and I always want to offer the opportunity to say goodnight to everyone. So since you're nice and angry, Anastasia, do you want to say goodnight first?
Go buy your own fucking cigarette. I was being really nice tonight, so I needed to add a little bit of, craziness. Please make sure that you all are donating if you have the means. It would be greatly appreciated. Jade DeVere on Cash App, I believe. I don't know.
It's actually Venmo. And
Venmo.
I'm going to interrupt your goodnight because we reached our goal tonight.
What?
With one donation. So Ephraim Rodriguez,
what?
Thank you so much.
Wow.
You are helping the performers have a tent for Pride this year. So
yes,
I saw that Venmo come in and I was like, the hell? That was me passing my phone to Amethyst.
I know.
Bitch, look at this. Yep.
Wow.
Put too many zeros on that, but thank you so much for that. We are so appreciative.
That's going to be so exciting.
Yeah. But girl, sorry I cut you off. Please continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, blessings upon blessings. Have a great night. Make sure that you're going to go get tested for HIV and other STIs at least once a year. And y'all have a fabulous evening. And thank you so much, friend.
Thank you, sis. Amethyst, it's your turn.
Daughter, you're so cute. I love you. Thank you for your energy and your input and your intelligence mostly. I love you. Thank you for doing the show. Jade, my sister. It's cool to be guys tonight. So, all of that. Thank you for the viewers out there watching. Thank you, of course, Ephraim Rodriguez, for your phenomenal donation. It fills my heart with joy knowing that you did that for us, and we are in return going to spread that love to the rest of our surrounding communities. James, thank you so much for taking the time to express yourself and to educate not only myself, but people out there who, put labels on things and may not quite understand, the ins and outs of can you be straight and queer? And yes, you can. Absolutely. You're so well-spoken and so educated, and I appreciate you, sir. So thank you for being with us tonight. All right. Take care of each other and yourselves. I'll turn it over to that one.
Actually, James, your turn.
This was the worst porno video I've ever been a part of. Everybody's clothes are still on. This is not what I expected at all. I want to.
She's ready for you. She is ready for you.
Oh, she's naked already. I can't.
This is what happens when you film at home. You get your comfortable.
Exactly.
I'll take my bonnet off and I'll leave my bonnet on and everything, baby.
Yes. Don't want the hair to get messed up.
I had a blast. Not only did I get a chance to hang out with my friend, I got to meet two phenomenal people.
Thank you.
For the first time, and assuredly not the last.
Definitely not.
This is wonderful. Guys, fuck the haters. Be who you want to be.
That's right.
I like that.
I like that.
That is fantastic. I want to thank everybody who is watching this evening for tuning in and sticking by us. Remember, keep sharing the video. We do appreciate it. I am actually working on something, and hopefully next week we will not just be on Facebook and YouTube, but we are going to start streaming to Twitch. And James actually gave me the recommendation for that, so I set it up before the show. Nice. We're going to give it a whirl. Why not?
You need to be very careful with our words.
Oh, I know. The trolls on Twitch are notorious. They
bring it.
I know they will ban you. And they tried to trick me into saying one of the you-know-what words.
Was it the N-word?
They tried to get me to say
I love that word. I'll say it.
It was Nick's birthday. It was Nick's birthday.
It was Nick's birthday.
Well, that is an N-word.
Yeah.
No. It's his last name is Gurr.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Someone on Twitch tried to get me to wish a happy birthday to And I did.
Oh, that's clever.
But I paused.
Is it though?
Was it?
I
like-
paused between the words, so I think they were getting
Well, I've never seen
frustrated.
it before. That's
Like I've never wished somebody by their happy birthday by their first and last name.
that's true. Well, but it's like a professional setting.
Drag
I guess.
queen, yes.
And I'm also dumb.
We're
So-
not dumb.
I wasn't getting
Oh
it
my gosh.
until Derek's on the couch, like, shut up.
Stop.
And I was like, what? Oh, that's cute. Okay. Apparently, they've gotten some of the Rue girls doing it too. And I'm just like, do you have anything else going on? Hey, if we get haters, that just means we're more popular.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
And we love you for it.
Exactly. Thank you for keep on hating us. We
That's right.
enjoy it.
Hate on me, hater.
Basically.
Hate.
Num num num. It sustains us.
I ate it for breakfast.
James, thank you so much for being here
Yes,
tonight.
It was a blast.
You
Yes,
are the best. I love working with you. I'm so glad I could introduce you to my drag family as well. Such a good conversation tonight.
Yeah.
Amethyst, I adore you.
I
I'm
love
so,
you too.
so glad you were like, do we really need to be in drag for tonight? And
No.
at first I was like, yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
And then after thinking about it, I was like, no,
You
we
love
sure
us just
don't.
the same.
Anastasia, thank you so much for your insight. I adore you so much. You are so intelligent and so just insightful. Like, that was
Very.
redundant, but still,
It's
like,
fine.
I
You're right.
love, like, I absorb knowledge from you, and I absolutely love that.
Absolutely.
And I'm bummed you weren't here tonight, but you look freaking amazing right now.
Oh, thank you. You know, a little bit of mood, like we'll get you to set the mood. You know, good night.
Exactly.
Always make a bitch look good.
Are you talking to me or him now?
Oh, listen, you know.
We have an amazing episode planned next week as well. We are bringing some makeup queens in, which is
Ooh.
going to be incredible.
Ooh.
We've got the remarkable Candy Pop joining us.
Oh.
She's cute as a button. I love her.
She reached out to me about it, and I was like, absolutely, yes, please.
I love her. to
And
death.
a queen that we have not had on since year one of this show.
Ooh.
We're that far into the show, but based all the way out in California, the incredible Nomi Moore is going to be joining us.
Oh, nice.
I'm so excited to pick her brain again. She is a drag artist. She is a model. She is
Wow.
just watch her YouTube channel because she does all of these different makeup looks and they're all stunning. But we have reached the end of our evening together. So it's one last thing to say. Good night, kids.
Kids.